All right. We are in April officially. I think it's April. Yeah, March, April. Yeah. April 16th, and really, really cool stuff going on. Lots of exciting things to share with you guys today. So, been looking forward to this one for a while. We've been talking about the whole agentic AI thing for a while. Man, in the last week, it has really kicked my butt into gear, high gear. So just putting out all kinds of cool stuff. Um, I don't know if any of you guys saw the book that came out. I've always said that I needed a book like I need a hole in the head, right? Well, as I was working with the new Agentic AI, it's really shined a lot of light on things that I should be doing and maybe things I shouldn't be doing, which is really cool. We talk about running the year-end process and taking a look at what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing. And I'll tell you what, this thing is not going to let me get away with once a year. It's going to tell me if I'm off track like right now. So I am really appreciating that and and looking forward to the outcome of this year based on that. So a couple of the things that it has really just like put up in my face is the fact that I'm doing stuff I shouldn't be doing. And also things I'm not doing or haven't done that I should be doing. And one of them is the book. And this isn't just any book. This isn't like me writing a book for the sake of writing a book. This book is a promotional tool that supports the Optimancer launch. And not only is it a tool in support of the Optimancer launch, it's got links in it to all of our products. It doesn't just support Optimancer, it pushes ACT, it pushes the Crypto Club, it pushes all of the stuff that I have to offer, SitePop, everything. So it's much more than, just putting out a book for the sake of putting out a book. Like, I don't need credibility. What I need is increased sales. And that's exactly the whole point of this book. And the thing about the way that the AI did the book, it didn't just write a book for the sake of writing a book. It gamified it. It gamified it to get you to read it. So as Becky is introducing the book, she talks about the five diamonds that are hidden in the book and almost turns it into a game. So as you're reading the book, you have to pay attention because there's five hidden diamonds in the book. Now, between you and I, they're not that difficult to find. and and that's by design. Basically they are URLs, and when you go to the URL, it's really cool. There's a page there where Becky congratulates you on finding the diamond. It is totally gamified. So it's really cool. So if you guys haven't checked that out yet, you might want to take a look at it. We really just kind of wrapped it up within the last couple of days. So I know I had sent just the book out to several of you to look at before we had the actual funnel in place. But now that the funnel is in place, the whole thing is gamified and it's got pages and a download. And I mean, it just blew my mind to actually see the way it all works out. So let me answer a couple of questions and then I'll get you guys, while I'm doing that, I'll get you guys the link if you want to take a look and see what the funnel is. Pam, go ahead.
Yeah, for some reason I'm not getting your emails now. I thought I would be, but I'm not. I'll definitely use the link. I guess I'll use an alternate email that'll work, right?
Yeah, I'm curious why you're not getting them.
It's
Um,
all on my end. Everything got honked up from trying to redo the websites and change things around and DNS things and
oh, okay. Yeah,
yeah,
that
it's a bit
that
messy.
happens.
Yeah. I'm getting some of your emails, like the invoices are coming in, but not like the notifications for this
It's
or about your
possible,
book or,
yeah, it's possible that you might have got blacklisted inside of Kartra,
oh, far
which
out.
for some reason is not difficult to do.
Okay.
But that doesn't prevent invoices from going out. You know,
Makes sense.
I've had
Okay.
I've had several discussions with them on this. All it does is it prevents marketing materials from going out.
That's weird.
So yeah, it's very odd, and they have a lot of false positives on email bounce. Like
Okay.
if they see a hard bounce from an email, then they mark you as a bad email, and then I can't send any more promotional materials until we
They
get
they
cleared.
probably did get a hard bounce. I've seen that
Okay.
other places too. So yeah, I
Okay.
get it.
Well, you that doesn't prevent you from sending me an email. And then when you send me an email direct, I can respond back and there's no blockage in that.
Yeah, I think I sent something a couple of weeks ago, but I'll go
So
ahead and get this book and we'll figure it
so
out.
so send me an email that says you're blocked in Kartra and then I'll reach out to the tech and have them clear you.
Thank you very much.
Make sure that and anybody else, if you're not receiving like the weekly call reminders, that's probably the reason. And I wind up doing this probably once a month, maybe once every other month. I'll reach out to Kartra and say, "Hey, can you just clean my blocks?" And they'll send me a report back. And usually there's about 50 people that are being blocked that shouldn't be. So, but if you're on a block and you want me to do that, just shoot me an email and I'll send in another request.
John, do you have a link to that book? I don't have the email either.
Yeah, let me get that for you. I got so many links all over the place, it's ridiculous. Uh, Let me see where. Okay, here it is.
Congratulations on writing a book.
Oh yeah, it was a piece of cake. It was like hitting a button.
I bet.
But you know, the really cool thing about this is the way this got written, absolutely incredible. It's so accurate. It's like if I were to have written this, it wouldn't be as good, I'll tell you that, because my grammar is not that great. And it wouldn't have been as detailed and well put together as it is. It really did a good job. And I actually read it, which I really don't read stuff. I actually spent the time to read it, and there was only a couple of things where it was just fundamentally off. Like, for instance, one of the things where it was talking about when I became a photographer, it was saying how excited I was to get into that business and I was shooting anything I could get a hold of, weddings and all this. And I'm like, oh, no, no, I never shot a freaking wedding in my life. There's no way in hell I would go down that rabbit hole. So I had to correct a couple of things like that. I went into special effects photography because of the money. I did not go into weddings and portraits and that kind of crap. So I had to correct that and you know a couple little things like that, and that was about it. But the rest of that is the book. And I even asked it. I said, "Hey, when I go through this and it needs to be edited, should I just do the edits and give it back to you and you can update it?" And it said, "No, there's no reason for you to do that. Just tell me what I did wrong and I'll fix it." I'm like, "Wow, this is pretty crazy."
That's cool.
Yeah. So I put the link in the chat there and you guys can take a look at it and
It's very hard to read the last thing
Yeah.
before you get instant access. It's the little boxes I would like to receive you. It's like
oh
read what
yes, yes, that is
hard
yeah.
hard on the contrast, hard on the eyes.
Yep, that has been pointed out, and that is something that I'm going to have it fixed today. So I'll share this just for anybody that's not not seen the link. But the whole thing, this whole deal has been focused around this Confessions of a Diamond Thief theme. like the smash and grab, the whole campaign, and the AI had this whole storyline figured out before I even realized what it was doing. Like when it recommended the smash and grab, I thought, wow, that's a cool idea. I didn't realize it was thinking, steps ahead about promoting it with this book called Confessions of a Diamond Thief. And another thing I figured out how to do, the Becky that I used, I found Becky in HeyGen. So she was one of the avatars in HeyGen, but she only had I think about six different looks, six different wardrobe changes. And the backgrounds were all basic and plain and simple. It's like she was, in a white office or whatever. They weren't very exciting. You know, HeyGen just recently put out an update where they're allowing AI avatars to be created. So what I did was I went ahead, I took some screenshots of her from HeyGen and some of the videos that I had created of her out of HeyGen. I screenshotted them, and it's kind of similar to our precision image tool inside of the Quantum Suite, where you upload a dozen images and then it creates the character. Well, you can now do that inside a HeyGen for your HeyGen avatars. So I did that, and now I can just put a simple prompt in HeyGen and I can say, yeah, put my Becky in a library with, dim lighting, kind of mysterious with a laptop. And that's what created this. And I told it to dress her in purple or purple accents because a lot of the theme of the smash and grab has the purple theme to it. So this is what it created for me. And then I never liked any of the voices in HeyGen. All of the avatar voices, I don't know. I'd never found one that I said, yeah, that's my Becky there. So I created that. I worked with the AI for probably half a day, going back and forth with voice clips and cloning and matching and all this kind of stuff, and finally created her voice that I was happy with. So now that I have that, the AI can spit out a voice file. I drop it in HeyGen, give it a prompt, what background I want her in and what I want her wearing, and it creates this. And this is the video on the page where I send people to get the book. So I'll play this for you guys.
So, there's this guy. He spent 30 years cracking every algorithm the internet ever threw at him. Search engines, social platforms, AI, all of it. He beat them all. And then he did something crazy. He wrote it all down. Every strategy, every shortcut, every confession. The book is called Confessions of a Diamond Thief, and right now you can download it free. But here's the thing. There are 5 diamonds hidden inside those pages. Find them, and you unlock rewards that aren't available anywhere else. Toolkits, masterclasses, access to rooms most people don't even know exist. This isn't just a book, it's an initiation. And finding those diamonds, that's how you join the crew. Enter your name and email below, and your copy is on its way. I'll be waiting for you on the other side.
So see how she seeds you with there's diamonds in the book? Most people will go and they'll download a book and then they'll never look at it. She's making sure you don't just do that. You actually download the book and it's like an Easter egg hunt inside the book. So when you click here, it opens, and I've already opted in so it doesn't have the little boxes here that you have to check, but I need to make those more pronounced so you can actually see them. So I'm just going to opt in again, and then it takes you, and guess what? Here she is again.
Well, 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 look at you. You actually grabbed the book. Do you have any idea how rare that makes you? Most people scroll right past free. They don't stop. They don't read. They definitely don't download. But you did. What you're about to read is 30 years of real stories, real strategies, Real results. Not theory, not fluff. The actual playbook from a man who cracked Yahoo, outsmarted Google, and built systems that still run today. 16 chapters, every algorithm, every secret. The meeting at Google they didn't want you to know about, and 5 hidden diamonds buried inside those pages. Find them all, and let's just say you'll unlock things most people don't even know exist. Start weeding, pay attention. The clues are closer than you think. I'll be watching.
She's going to be watching you. So, anyway, you can see how this isn't just a regular book download. This isn't just a regular lead magnet. There's a lot of marketing that went into this. And then on the other side of it, it gave me a basically a instruction manual of how to take this to Amazon and put it up in the Kindle, in the print on demand, I think they call it, and also Audible. It put this out as an Audible book. And when I was asking it, like, who should we have narrate this? Basically, it said we should use you to read the book because this is your story. And it said, here's a problem with that, though. It said, any narrator, if it's the same narrator all the way through, it gave me some stats that the Audible ebooks of, for business and do it yourself and all that kind of stuff, they're not getting listened to. They typically get listened to for 1 or 2 chapters and then people drop off. And it also said in its research, it found that people are consuming the same content that's in the ebook in a podcast format with 2 people bantering back and forth. Those are getting consumed almost 100%. So it recommended that we use Becky in the ebook. She comes on, she introduces it, then I take my part, and then at the end of the chapter, she pops back in, kind of does a recap, puts a couple of points in, and then hands it back to me for the next chapter. So she's in there in between every chapter all the way through to get people to listen to it. So it's like unbelievable what this thing is putting together. It's absolutely awesome. And the 5 diamonds as you go through the book, like when you download the book and you go through the diamonds, each diamond basically is a link. You put the link together, you go to the page, and Becky is there to greet you and congratulate you on finding the diamond. And they're they're pretty cool. It's pretty cool stuff. So, Richard, go or actually, who's up first here? Allie. I had you guys backwards on the other screen. So, Allie, go ahead.
Hi, John. This sounds amazing. When you say agentic AI, have you developed an open claw? I'm not like, what
It's
AI are you using?
it's not OpenClaw. It's one that I've been playing around with. I've got some developers in Florida that are building it for me, and
Oh,
eventually I'm going to release it and make it available. But
hmm.
right now I've just kind of been playing with the prototype and it's just incredible. But no,
Is it
it's not
open claw? Like I wanted to ask you,
it,
like, how is
op,
it?
OpenClaw is something where you run it on your computer and it's very dangerous.
Mhm.
OpenClaw has no guardrails on it. And I personally, I there's no way in hell I'm putting that thing on my computer.
Even with like having it run on a VPN?
No, there's no way. That thing is not ready for prime time.
Okay.
There's a lot of agentic stuff coming out. A lot of the marketers are coming out with versions of it
Yeah.
and even the big companies, I think even OpenAI has a version of it, but it's pretty shitty. But
Only
all
one quick question, John. When are you going to release it? Do you know yet? That
I
was my
had I
question.
I don't have a hard date for it yet. No. We're working through all the issues, which there's a number of them, but
So
I can tell you the prototype is just absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. So you're developing the whole thing with your Florida developers,
Yes.
and is this breaking news? Because I haven't been on in a long time, but I didn't. So I'm new
I've
to the flow
I've
right now.
kind of well, I've been working with the programmers for, probably 6 months. I started kind of talking about it once I got the prototype of it. Because until I got it in my hands, it wasn't a real thing. I didn't feel it was worthy of talking about yet.
Hmm.
But as I've been working with it, it's like a holy shit moment. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, it sounds like a holy shit moment.
Yeah.
So you used HeyGen to develop and load Becky, right? You did that years ago. But
Mhm.
what voice AI did you use that you spent half a day working it out?
It's the prototype that I've got.
Oh, you dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's awesome. All right, I guess we'll
Yeah.
all have to wait.
The
And
only the only thing I haven't been using the prototype for too much is for video stuff because it chews up an incredible amount of video credits.
Mhm.
And that's one of the things where I want to get that figured out before we release it because most people are going to want video out of it. It does amazing video,
Mm,
but the amount of video credits it chews up, it's like I can buy the video credits in HeyGen for a fraction of what it does. But
uh,
like for
okay.
instance, on the Smash and Grab campaign, I said, "Hey, can you take this Becky voice and turn it into a cinematic video?" And it did. It did like a whole mysterious, caper theme. And I'm just like blown away. I'm like, holy crap.
And what about like these deep fakes where everybody's you can hardly tell. There's still you could still tell that your video, which I actually like, that Becky is still. You could tell that she's a not a cartoon, but like that she's animated.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that. For me, that feels better, more honest, because I know she's an animated character and her voice is still clearly discernible. But like the deep fakes where like that are everywhere on YouTube now. What had you not go in that direction?
Well, the thing to me about the deep fakes, and they're not really deep fakes in HeyGen. HeyGen has like hundreds of characters. And the videos that you're talking about on YouTube, I have found every one of them in HeyGen. They're HeyGen characters. These people are not rocket science. They're going into HeyGen, they're finding a character, and they're basically just using it. And that's what I did originally with the Becky that I have now. I found her in HeyGen. I was
Mm-hmm.
looking through, and I mean, there's hundreds of them. You
Mm,
can spend all day looking through the characters. But I found one and I'm like, yeah, that's the closest one I've seen yet. Let me go with that. But the voices sucked.
mm-hmm.
And the voices in conjunction with their characters wound up sucking.
Mm-hmm.
Where I found it actually came out well was when I took their character and then took the voice out of my AI and put it in there and combined them, then I got better results.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I've taken that a step further and created an AI avatar based on her, now they're like spectacular. I think what I'm putting out as far as those Becky videos now is really, really good.
Yeah, they are really good.
I'm really
So,
happy with it.
and you ask your protocol, because I find everybody asking similar questions every once in a while with all your product lines. Can your prototype, can you put in like your back end and say, like, is there a way to combine or clarify how to use your tools and everything? And like, because I'm working with Woody right now, and he can't explain to me what he's paying you for, or and what like what how we use them. So I'm trying to catch up with all that, and I can't. I'm like, oh my god.
Well,
So
as far as I know, he's on the ACT program, so he has access to all the ACT stuff,
yeah,
and he also has access to the quantum tools.
quantum tools. I think he thinks he has Optimizer or something. And what is
No, I don't.
It's
Optimancer is an optimization program for AI optimization on a website, and it
oh right, right, right.
works for WordPress sites. Optimancer was primarily built for agencies,
Agencies, yeah.
like an agency that wants to make an absolute killing and
Hmm.
penetrate a market at lightning speed. That's what Optimancer is built for. The individual person can buy a one license of it and put it on their own site as a do-it-yourselfer. But it requires a little bit of tech to do it because you're going in and you're putting widget codes in and things like that. So it's not your normal average person. It's not made
So
for that.
will your new protocol tool have like will you be able to put, you know how you can go into Claude and take a screenshot and say, help me figure this out, and then we would be able to go in and do it correctly using your tools. Do you will
Yeah.
your new prototype be able to do that? In other
Yeah,
words,
it's
I'm thinking, is it wise to, when you finally do bring this to market, does it collapse all the other things, or is it needed to use all the other things? Like, I'm trying to figure out what
no,
the best path is
the
for
quantum
Woody and
the
maybe everybody
quantum
else.
tools are basically it's a set of GPTs to help you do single item functions. So, like if you're going through the ACT program and you've got the quantum suite and you need to build an avatar, you go to the build a buyer tool and it does it
Oh,
for
okay.
you. If you
Let me
need to
write
do
this.
market research, you can do that. If you need to, whatever you need to do going through the ACT program, I've tried to create
Oh,
tools in the quantum suite to help you do it.
okay, okay.
But
That's awesome.
they are individual tools. It's like one tool does one thing. So
Right.
so it's like a la carte, you pick and choose what you need. It's also got things that are not really related to the ACT program, like image creation. The
Mm.
image tool in there is amazing. We've
Hmm.
got prompts behind the scenes that you can't see that help create really, really good image out of there.
So so if he has the quantum tool suite, do the tools, like, when, because I'm about to get into ACT and work through his process, so I want to know, are there live links to those tools if you do have quantum suite? Like, or in quantum, does it link back to ACT and say, use this, like, like, let's say I'm on the ACT analysis page one. If
Yeah,
is it hot? Like,
it's not a hot link to the exact tool.
yeah.
I don't believe it might be. I know Brady went in there and connected a bunch of stuff.
That
So
would be
he put a
awesome.
lot of links in there.
Okay.
I'm not sure if he linked it directly to the tool itself, but he might have.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Thank you. I'm just trying to figure out how to be efficient. You know what I mean?
yeah, but
And also,
once you're in
keep
the
everything in
quantum,
your house. I don't want to buy stuff outside of the John world if I don't have to. No.
yeah, well, once we release the new thing, and we're calling it Sorcerer, that's
Sorcerer.
that's the name of it. So it's like a sorcerer, and we're referring to it just like we did with Acquisition Air. We're referring to it as the airline theme, and the
That's
theme,
awesome. Did
the
you run that? That's great. That's a fucking great name, man. Oh,
Sorcerer Air,
yeah.
and the idea of it is there's 1,600 agents programmed in the
Oh my God.
system, and we're calling them the pilots to take you to any destination you need to go to. They know how to get there. And we're taglining it, your flight to freedom.
Ah, that's so great, man. You're fucking great at marketing.
So,
Yeah. Your flight to freedom. Okay, that's so cool.
so that's where we're
God,
going with it.
you gotta squash that 6 month time, John. I'm giving you a month with all you guys.
Oh,
Come on, man.
believe me, I'm hot on their collars. Believe me.
Yes, yes, yes. All
And
right. Well,
the more I
I was
use
trying to
it,
figure out how to work with for Woody in the Johnny in world, in John's world, in Limbo Land. So
your your biggest problem, I'm going to tell you right now, your biggest problem working in that arena is not going to be the systems and the tools. It's going to be in the clarity. You need to sit Woody down and get clarity first before you make another move. Otherwise, all the tools and systems in the world are not going to help. You need to have a real frank conversation with him is where are you going to make money? How are you going to make money? Who is going to buy it? What are you going to give them? Why are they going to want it? If you can't answer those, I don't have any tool under the sun that's going to help.
Righty. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm back and working with
So
him.
that is not a tool
Nothing has
problem.
happened in the 4 years that I've been away, so that's
Yeah,
not.
no. That is not a tool problem. That is a fundamental foundational problem of jumping into creation before you've done your analysis piece.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you right now, that does not work. It never has. I've never seen an instance of that scenario working out.
I know that, brother. I know
So,
that.
so
All
if
right.
you
Well,
try it any other way, you're just going to get frustrated and
yeah, yeah.
you know the truth. You know the drill, right?
I do know the drill. Anyway, I just but I'm I'm
You are not a marketer at this stage of your thing. You are a wrestler. You need to wrestle him down to the mat and hold him down until he taps out. Okay? That's your
uh,
job title.
yeah, okay. What is it, John MMA?
Yeah. You are Alley MMA
Yeah,
until you
the A stands for Alley.
yeah.
MMA Act.
Yeah, once you get that, then we can go to work. But until then, you're chasing your tail.
Yeah. Well,
Really need to nail him down.
yeah, yeah. I that's why I wanted to get a handle on the tools and what he actually has because he's like I have Act. I know he has Act. I bought it for him years ago. But now that you've put AI into Act, but and then he said, I think I have the quantum, I have the AI, and I'm like, so thank you for that. I'll have to. Oh,
Having act without having clarity is like having a car and not having car keys. Looks great in the driveway, but ain't gonna get you anywhere.
but Act is going to help when I go through it. It's going to help us get clarity, right?
It will, but it won't start at the foundation. It's not going to tell you where to go.
Mm,
You have to have, a solid idea and then it will verify it.
mm.
It will vet it.
How do I, uh, like
Like
right now,
the
he's
first
got a
the
music business, his father's music, and um, uh, um, right now, as far as I understand, he has his father's music business, and his dad wrote songs for Elvis, and I guess he thinks
yeah.
the path is to sell those
I
songs to movies and things. But how do I find a market? How do I find something that's sellable at a bigger, a wider angle?
Yeah, I haven't personally figured out how he's going to make money with the whole music thing. I mean, he's got a bunch of memorabilia stuff from the past and he's trying to make, a golden castle out of it. I don't see the path. That doesn't mean it's not there, but it's not clear to me how
Right.
that's going to
How can
flesh
I
out.
approach brainstorming with him to create and to get to an idea that to
Well,
get to a product that would actually sell?
I already did it and he just fought it every step of the way.
Oh, well, what was your idea?
I asked him a series of questions that started with, what do you want to do, Woody? And he said, I want to do, well, I forget what he called it, but it was something like enjoy my freedom or something, or enjoy my joy.
Yeah, that was years ago. Yeah.
It was the whole joy thing. And I'm like,
Yep.
Woody, you can't sell joy. That's not a product. I said, what exactly is it that you've got that gives you joy? What are you talking about here?
Right.
And it came down to, well, I just want to smoke dope and, bang hot chicks and listen to my music. And I'm like, okay, great. Now I have a clear picture of what joy means to you.
Right.
There's a market of people that would want that. Okay. Now tell me how you got it. Tell me what allows you the money that you can do that. And he said it came from real estate. I'm like, okay, now we're getting somewhere.
Right.
Now we're getting somewhere. And he was specific to like handicapped people, helping handicapped people enjoy
That's
their
when
joy.
we developed, that's when I was working with them and we
Yeah.
developed the whole real estate
Yeah.
website. But
Yeah. And what happened to that?
I don't know because then I had to move to take care of my mom. So,
Yeah. So I told him, okay, now we know where your money came from. Now we know that that led you through being able to become handicapped and still enjoying your joy. Okay, I'm clear now. We can sell that because you
okay.
have all these handicapped people that don't have any way to make money and you can give them a path to it. Right. And
What's
he
the
said,
path for handicapped people to make money with real estate? I don't get that.
so he could train them how to do it without having
Oh,
to talk to anybody.
oh.
And he
So
said he
they,
had all the training materials and he had done this for years. And I'm like, great, we just need to package that. And then it came down to he didn't really have the materials. And it was, for me, it was kind of like pulling teeth.
yeah,
I'm not really a dentist.
I understand. Yeah, I gotcha. But with AI now, if like if I were to interview him, could I like load the project parameter, like create a project in Claude, or how could I use your systems, your environment to create the material we need to be able to sell in any, whether it's the music
Well,
or the real estate or, you know what I'm
again,
pointing?
the first thing you're jumping into creation again. You got to
Mm,
set creation aside for a minute. You've got to find a viable business.
mm,
You got to find what do people want? What will they pay for? And then if it doesn't exist, you can create it. Then you can jump into creation. Then you can jump into how you're going to market it. That's again creation. But you have to find a viable market. Like that's why market segmentation is the first way to validate. If you
yeah,
can't segment the market and find a profitable segment of the market, you don't have a viable thing.
right. So,
That's
so this
job
is
number one.
right. So this is what
So,
I'm
who are you going to serve? These are the questions. Who are you going to serve? What is it they want? Why do they want it? And how much will they pay for it? If you can't come up with reasonable answers to those questions, you need to still keep hunting. And this
mm,
is for everybody.
yeah.
This is for everybody. You have to have a viable market. Otherwise, you're going to create a marketing campaign to sell to no one.
Can you repeat those questions again, please?
So it's like, what market are you going to sell? Who are you going to sell to? What is it that they want? Well, like, what's their desired outcome? Why do they want that? And then how much are they willing to pay for it? And if those things all come to like, okay, I've got something here, then you move forward. If you don't, it's fine. You just failed. You failed a business in about 30 seconds. And that I can truly congratulate you on because you didn't spend a year or 5 years figuring it out.
Right,
You failed fast, and you got onto something that can work.
right.
That's what you want
Uh,
to do. You want to fail 1,000 times in one day. That way, when you find the thing that, oh, okay, I can see how this could work, now you're putting energy into a winner.
John, is there a way to test or vet an idea like in your ecosystem? Like, let's say we come up with 10 ideas. Do you know what I'm saying? How do I figure out what is answers those five things and is an actual
There's a
product?
there's a cool tool. You may have heard of it. I think it's called AI. It's a great brainstorming tool, and
Okay.
it knows an awful lot about an awful lot of things.
Well, I was just asking if you have something like that in the ecosystem of quantum, or I could,
Yeah.
I have, I use chat and
Quantum and
Claude.
Act, Allie, Quantum and Act is a marketing program. If you have something to market, it's the perfect solution for you.
Mm,
It's not the answers to your prayer. of figuring out what you're going to do in life. That's not its purpose. Its purpose is for marketing a viable product. So AI is a great tool to go and brainstorm and like come up with ideas and all that. And then you validate those ideas. And we've got the market segmenter to try and find the most profitable segment once you're to that point.
Okay.
But it's not made to get you to that point.
What AI tool do you like best to
The
brainstorm with?
the
Do you like
absolute
Perplexity?
the absolute best tool at your disposal has been there since you came out. It's between your ears.
Well, yeah.
You got to use that thing.
Hmm.
You got to get Woody to use that thing. You all need to exercise the living shit out of that thing. If you're not taking that thing to the gym every waking minute of every day, you're abusing it.
Okay.
It's just conscious thought.
Hmm.
Like when I say, who are you going to serve? And you come up with something, and then what is it that they want? And you come up with something. If it makes sense, you keep going. If it doesn't, you go, oh, okay, out the window. Who am I going to serve? What is it that they want? You can you can operate at the speed of thought.
Hmm.
You can process 1,000 ideas an hour, guaranteed. There's nothing more powerful than your actual brain. AI can't hold a candle to it. Most people just don't know how to use it. It's an amazing tool, and we all have one.
Okay, I just,
So,
like I said, I'm just trying to figure out what what to use and where. I totally agree to use our brains. Even our imaginations are far greater than anything AI can come up with, even though people are starting to not believe that. But
yeah.
I know that to be truth.
So a lot of people have not done this. They've just kind of walked through life in a daydream, and they're not really using they're not exercising it. So it's atrophied. And that's where AI can come in and help. AI can kick ideas around, and it can spark thoughts. The AI isn't perfect. The AI isn't going to like do everything for you. I
Hmm.
can guarantee you the reason that the campaign that I'm building right now is so good, it's because of my input back to it.
Oh, that's for
It
sure.
didn't just do all of that. It did all of that with me interacting with it and brainstorming and coming up with stuff. That's why it's so good.
That, yeah, that. Well, you're a rocket scientist. I don't care what you say.
I'm not. I'm just like I have the
Oh
same
no.
tool everyone else has.
No, brother, I disagree
If you
emphatically.
Here's the thing, Ellie, if you read the book, you'll find out how I've exercised it every
Oh,
day.
I'm gonna read the book as soon as this call is done.
It's something that my father did with me since I was a little kid. He played a game with me every night. Every night he played the same game with me. And that game is still being played today. He asked me one question, the same question, every day I've walked the planet. And I still answer that question every night before I lay the head on the bed.
Okay, what's the question? I know you've told us this before. I just can't remember.
What did you learn today?
Uh, I love
That,
your dad.
that's what he asked me every day. He'd call me to his chair. What did you learn today? And he wasn't looking for something I learned out of a school lesson. He was looking for what did you learn by observing life? And he was not good with answers that weren't to his standard. You can't just tell me, oh, I learned the sky is blue. No, you go back to the drawing board and you come back and you tell me what you learned today.
He was looking for your genuine insights.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
you had a great dad.
as a kid, here's what that does. As a kid, that makes you every waking minute of every day looking for how you can impress him because you know it's coming.
Hmm.
You know that question is coming, and it's a lot of pressure. I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you right now, I walk through the day fucking terrified. Like,
Oh.
what am I gonna come up with that's going to impress him, right?
Yeah.
Every day.
Well, that's why
That
you have the brilliant mind that you have now. And
that that literally allows me to see through walls. Like, Richard has applauded me for years for figuring out what the next algorithm is going to be. What's the next thing Google's going to do? I can see it before it's even here because I'm looking at that depth. I'm looking at everything at that level.
yeah.
Like
Well,
what's everybody doing to it? What's it going to have to do to counter that? And that's how I know what it's going to do next.
what was your dad's name? Was I feel like he's present.
Don,
Oh, thank you, Don. We love you.
Don Senior.
Uh,
But yeah, that's
well,
what that's the only difference between you and me is I grew up fucking terrified every day because I had to answer that question at the end of the day. And I did not want to let him down. And I'm going to tell you right now, an answer of nothing was not acceptable unless you're in a coma.
yeah, Roger that. My dad was an interesting character too.
So, all right. So anyway,
All right. Well, thank you. I hope this added value to everyone. Anyway, I love you, John, and I'm glad to be in your space again.
all right, Jim, go ahead.
Yeah, just a couple quick comments for Ali. Um, John mentioned using your own brain or our own brain. And when you identify a target market and an opportunity, use other people's brains. Don't use AI for everything, but test market, survey the ideal target market. And as far as quantum tools, my recommendation is there's 2 to 3 minute videos for each quantum tool. So I was kind of overwhelmed by all the choices and didn't know what could be used for what. So I just watched a few tutorials a day and took notes on them. So now I have like an index of what can be used.
Yeah, there's a lot of tools. There's a
Thank
lot of
you,
tools for a lot of different stuff. And
Yeah,
the thing
you're
is,
welcome.
you don't have to use all of them. I don't think there's anybody on here that's going to use all those quantum tools. They weren't made
Hmm.
for everybody. They were made for different things as we grew. Like somebody would come on, like Susie Pruden came on and she says, "Hey, can you make one for press releases? Every time I send a press release in, it gets denied." And I'm like, well, I know why it's getting denied. I used to put them in for SEO purposes and they have to fit a particular format, which I understand. So I made the tool to fit the format every time and she loves it. She thought it was great. She absolutely loves that tool. But if you're not doing press releases, that tool does nothing for you. You
John.
know,
What's that tool in quantum called?
that's the press. It's in the business folder, and I think it's
Press Pro.
Press Pro. There you go.
I just used
Thank
it. It finally worked for me. We did a couple of them recently.
Yeah. So they're great. I mean, there's another tool in there for realtors that writes listings that actually gets people to come out and look at the houses. And I made that one for Linda. She told me she had problems getting people to come out and look at houses. So I've made the tool. She tried it. And the first time she had a line of people out the door. She said she'd never seen anything like it. So she did a white label and now she's packaging that up, selling it to realtors.
We used that one for a rental property, John, and filled the property in 2 months.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And I'm one of the only 100% rented units in our apartment buildings in that town.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I wanted to mention there's an app called Brand Blurb that John and I co-created, and it has all the questions that John was talking about, the target market, what's the idea, why, what problems being solved, what are the benefits, what's a clear call to action. So if you forget those questions, that's helpful. And John, the question I had for you was regarding this book. Um, is there a way to change the links so that they're under our affiliate program, or do we get an affiliate
Well,
link for the book giveaway and then everything else just flows through?
here's the beauty, and that is the way it will work. I'm going to create, and I'll probably do that today. I'm hoping to do that today. Is I'll create an affiliate link for you to give away the book. That way, when somebody downloads the book, they go through your affiliate channel. So anything they buy out of any of the links in the book all get credited to you.
That gives me a big smile.
So that's my intent. I just haven't done it yet.
Okay, great. And then my final question is around creating audiobooks. Did you use Kindle Direct Publishing or did you use Audible or how are you
I
getting your voice?
I haven't actually uploaded it yet. I haven't gone into any of the publishing stuff yet. It made me a guide to go in and set up all the accounts. But as far as I understand, it says you set up an account in the different channels, and one of them is Audible.
Okay,
So I think you have to publish your audiobook through Audible, and it did say it's going to require you to upload chapter at a time, so it broke it all up into individual chapter audio for me.
got it. And when you say it, what are you referring to?
My new AI toy.
Oh, okay. So not yet available.
Yeah, but I mean, with any AI, if you're creating that, you can ask it to do any function. Any of the stuff, like everything that mine is doing is nothing more than a GPT. So let me kind of explain the whole agentic thing. Agents are GPTs. That's all they are. An agent, think of an AI agent as nothing more than a GPT. So if you look at it inside Quantum, I've got about 50 different agents in there. Each one of those is trained on a specific thing, and that's their specialty. The difference between agentic is you have one master agent that he is like your chief of staff, and you tell him what you want. And then he goes and he hires the sub agents to get it all done, and then brings you back a completed project. It's freaking amazing. It's absolutely incredible the way it works. But all of the agents are nothing more than GPTs that have a specific skill set. Like in the one that we're building in Sorcerer, when we release, we're going to have over 1,600 agents ready to go at your disposal. Those are all available to your chief of staff. You will speak to the chief of staff just like you talk to Chat GPT. The difference is you tell it what you want. Like you say, hey, I need a marketing program and it needs this and this and this and that. And then it goes to work. It hires all the agents below it and they start piecing it together and bring you back the finished product. It's really, really cool. So that's the difference between AI, GPTs, and an agent. An AI, you're just talking to, it's doing things on the fly, and it's mediocre. It's kind of like having somebody that's a jack of all trades and a specialist of none. The GPTs are specialized secret agents at your disposal to do any given task. And when you move to the agentic, it's one agent that's managing all those secret agents for you to do a job. So, like for instance, when I need an article, I tell it I need an article on pool heaters for a pool service guy that lives in Arcadia and he services the Arcadia area. So that's what I tell the chief of staff. Now the chief of staff hires researchers. He researches the neighborhood, he researches the industry, he researches the product. He hands all the research reports to the copywriter. He says, we need an article, this many words, based on this stuff. Copywriter writes the copy, and then the copywriter hands in his work, and it gets passed to a proofreader. The proofreader proofreads it and passes it to a critic. The critic criticizes it and then hands it to another critic so they can have a debate. And they shred this thing. And then that all goes back to the copywriter for a rewrite. And that process might go on a couple of times till the critics go, yeah, that's pretty damn good. Let's pass it. And then it's going to come back to you as a finished product. That's Agentic AI. And it is amazing.
And
Because
you create that path, right, John, by telling it the master agentic, your agentic master, you tell it what you want, and it calls in all those
yeah,
agents and does it seamlessly. Like you
correct.
don't have to oversee it, right? It just delivers you the final.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It'll do anything you ask. You can say, hey, to save time, why don't you give me the article and let me take a peek at it first so I can give you my initial judgment, then pass it through. You can do whatever you want with it. It's at your disposal for anything. But it automates a tremendous amount of the workflow. If any of you have ever worked with AI, which I know you all have, you say, write me an article on this. It writes it. It's absolute crap, and you have to go back and forth with it until you get it the way you want it. With Agentic, it does all of that for you and hands you back the article after all that crap has been done. It's like, if you're hiring a kid off the street that has no skills and you're trying to train him, that can be very frustrating versus you having a team of experts and you have a chief of staff. And the chief of staff takes all the frustration away from you. It all lies on his shoulders. He's got to hire the agents below. He's got to have it proofread. He's got to have it critiqued. He's the one that's doing all of that, not you. So it's AI is evolving. This stuff is evolving. Agentic is the next version. And it's coming out everywhere. This is not new. I mean, I'm not the first one to be doing this. I'm following just like everyone else. It's just I'm following that's, 10 steps ahead of a lot of you guys, and that puts you 100 steps ahead of everyone else.
John,
We
There's one critical thing that I hear you talking about it. I think I know that you know it, but I've never heard you verbalize it, is that if someone gets this new tool you're building and they just go to it and start using it, they're going to get the same mediocre results as if they just went to Chat GPT. The key to this whole thing is, the part you didn't touch on it heavily enough, is that where we have to spend probably 40 or 50 hours is feeding it all of who we are, our knowledge, our
oh
understanding, our background, all that stuff. Because without that, it's got nothing to work with.
yeah,
But
no, I've talked about that multiple times. I've talked about prompting for agentic is completely different than prompting for normal AI. Like for instance, when I prompted for my initial prototype, I started off not knowing that. And I started, having it do stuff, and I mean, it was blowing my mind what it was doing. But then I did something for Jill, and Jill's in the furniture business, and it did the project great. I mean, I handed it to her. She loved it. It was awesome. But then I went back and I started doing something for myself, and it started making furniture references. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, wait a minute. It was assuming I was in the furniture business. And I asked it, I said, why would you have done that? And it came back and it says, I have total recall across everything you're ever going to do with me. And I'm like, whoa, okay, wait a minute, that's a problem. So I'm in the process of learning this thing right alongside it. It's teaching me who it is, what it does, what its capabilities are. So based on that, I said, okay, we need to wash the slate clean. And and I'm questioning it about do I do different chats or just is this just one big chat forever? And and it told me, it said, no, you should project base your chats and you should customize your chats. If you have a bunch of customers, let's put them into buckets. So I know that I need to stay in that bucket for that customer and not flow that over into your business. That was where it really opened up the gap for me and showed me how to train my CEO or my chief of staff. So I started with, let me tell you about me. And I told it all about me all the way back to childhood. Everything I could think of, I let it read or let it listen to all of my YouTube videos. You guys know I tell stories on here every week for the last 14 years. So it processed all those stories and pulled out all the life stories about me. So it has everything I've ever told you guys about my life and a lot of stuff I haven't ever said on here. So it knows everything about me. That was my baseline for training it. And then I started training it on my current business. Said, here's my current business. Then I trained it on past businesses. Here's the past businesses I've had all the way back that shows you how I built one skill set that flowed to the next, to flow to the next, to be where I am today. So I gave it all that. And then I said, now here are my products. Here's the products that I have. And I seeded it. I said, eventually you're going to redevelop my website and you're going to make this make sense because I have never been able to pull that one off. With all the different shit that I do, I've never been able to have a website that actually was coherent. So it's going to do that next. But I jumped into, okay, I have a serious problem. I have a webinar for Optimancer that's coming up that I have to deliver in 2 days. I had put it off to the last minute doing other stuff and then realized, oh shit, I have nothing ready for this. So that was the first actual project I threw at it that was real outside of me prompting it to me, to baseline. And that is where this whole campaign started. And we're just about to wrap it up with the final part of the books and uploading and all of that. So, and I mean, I got to tell you, it's like nothing I've ever put out. This thing is on a whole new level. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to do that with each one of the products. And then after that's done, I'm going to turn it back and I'm going to say, okay, now you got all my products, you got all my funnels, you got all this stuff. It's all looking good. Now let's redevelop my website. And that's a clarity thing. I will be, for the first time ever in my life, going in with a clear picture of what I want for a website. And I bet you it's going to come out spectacular because of that. I've made good looking websites before, but for myself to have the one that I really want, I've never gotten it because I've never done that. I've never been clear on it. So I'm finally going to grow up and figure out what I'm going to be when I'm an adult.
What I was talking about, John, was people are going to need a set of they're going to need an agent that they're going to have to talk to that's going to prompt them and ask them all the questions so that they draw out of each individual person all the stuff that you just talked about that
Oh, yeah.
intuitive that because what you need to have in there is your thought process, how you make decisions, how you sequence that stuff. And most of that stuff for most people has over the years faded into the background. So they just do it. They don't think about it. And they have to be questioned to draw that information out of them so that the AI I mean, I forget what all the different things are, but I ran across one presentation. The guy says, well, one of the things you need to have is you have to give your AI a soul file about your soul. Who are you? All that. And there was about two or three others that are different facets of information it needs to know about you personally, which is what you have 15 years of audio of YouTube videos. We don't have 15 years of videos. We don't, there's a lot of stuff that And from that, it probably pulled out your decision-making process and pulled a whole lot of stuff. So you're able to feed a lot of resources we don't have. That stuff's going to have to be mechanically drawn out of us in order to be able to create the files that it needs to really do, create the kinds of things for us that it just created for you. That was not an accident. There's a whole lot of background that has to have about us. I just want
You can put that worry to rest. There's an agent that will interview you for that exact process. He's already built in there. So the idea is you go into that agent. Well, you're not even accessing that agent. You're accessing the chief of staff. And the thing is you're gonna basically tell it what your frustrations are. It's going to start a process where it starts interviewing you. And the first thing it's going to want to know is what are your biggest frustrations? And then it's going to figure out what are the procedures, the operating procedures to do that. And then it'll go through the whole interview process of what it needs to know to be able to do that.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly what's missing from a whole lot of these. As I'm starting to build one of these things out, I'm finding out that I'm spending more time teaching it about me than asking questions. That I've actually got it prompting me to, if I'm unclear, ask me a question so I can clarify it, so I can build up that information. If you've already got that guy built into your system,
Yeah.
that's going to be a key. That's the foundation of everything else that thing builds on. It can only build on the information that it has. Otherwise, it's just going to be generic ooh-ha.
Yeah.
Like,
The other thing that it does is on the way through, it will build what's called libraries. Like every time you have it do something, if that's something that you're going to want done over and over, you can ask it to turn that into a library item so you can reference it in the future. Like, perfect example, when it built my HTML pages, I looked at them, they were absolutely beautiful. And then I looked at the code. I'm like, let me see what the code on this thing looks like. It might be a disaster. I got to tell you, it was the cleanest HTML code I've ever seen in my life. It was perfect. It was beautiful. It was the kind of thing that search engines absolutely love. And then I noticed it was missing, all the SEO stuff and all the AIO stuff. And I went back to the chief of staff and I said, with the amount of things that you know about me, you know that I am one of the best there is at this. Why would you build me a site that is going to make me look like I don't know what I'm doing? I said, do I need to train you on SEO and AIO, or do you know how to do this? And it basically came back and it said, oh my God, I'm so sorry. That was an oversight on my part. Let me take a shot at it and you tell me what you think. So it did. It handed me the files back and I looked through them and I'm like, holy shit. This thing actually knows more than I do about this subject matter, which that's hard to do. When you're talking about SEO, that's a difficult place to get to know more than I do. And it was there already out of the gate. And I said, okay, here's the deal. I want this created as a library item. So anytime in the future you create an HTML page for me, you run this library item on that page before it gets to me. I never want to see an unoptimized page come through my box again. And it said, absolutely understood, locked in as a library item. So any of your proprietary knowledge, any of that, you lock it in and then it for lack of a better word, it becomes your bitch.
that HTML, can it go into the one thing that I was concerned about having an AI write HTML code is that it's not on a WordPress format. And if it's not a WordPress format, Optimancer won't work. Can you have it build a page and then transfer it into? I don't know enough about programming to know how WordPress is different or is the same, or
Well,
how do you?
here's the thing, Richard. It doesn't need to be WordPress. You don't need Optimancer. It's doing all of that already. So Optimancer is for agencies. It's for agencies that want to serve WordPress owners. Anybody that has WordPress has a problem. It's almost impossible, or it's very difficult for them to do this back end optimization. So Optimancer is a brilliant piece of software that solves that problem and allows an agency to easily make money recurring. Okay, so if you're doing HTML pages, Optimancer is not for you. My machine that's doing HTML pages for me is doing everything Optimancer would do. So I would not need Optimancer for that. It's not in WordPress.
Okay, so how do we get those pages hosted? Do I just come to you and say, here's my HTML page?
So here's what I'm doing in WordPress, because I have a WordPress site, but all of these HTML pages are on my same site as running right next to my WordPress. So I get a plugin. If you have FTP and you know how to do FTP, you just move these files to the server. No problem. If you don't have those tech skills, you can get a plugin called WP File Manager, which that is an FTP program. It's just visual and it's right inside your dashboard, and it will move the files to your server for you. So I'm going to do a tutorial on this right after this call if you want to stick around. And I'm going to show you how to move those HTML files in. I'm not going to do it on this call. I'm going to end this call and then do that next one, because that next one will be for the Optimancer agency owners.
Will it be on the set? Can I come?
Anybody here? Yeah, you guys are all welcome to come if you want.
It's the same Zoom, just wait a little while.
Same Zoom. I'm just going to close this one out to kill the recording, and then I'm going to open it up again and do that.
Okay.
Basically, it's for Gwen. I told Gwen this morning that I would do that for her and load her files because she was a little overwhelmed with the process. And I'm like, let me just handle it for you. She's one of my resellers and all that. So I'm like, let me just take that off your plate, and it'll give me, for the first time, actually running through it. So it'll help me, support other people doing it.
So once you get the files on your server, then how do you link them to how can somebody on your WordPress site link to that file then? How does that linking occur?
Like any other link, you just tell it the URL. The link is just anything that's hot, then points to a URL. So you give it the URL.
Okay, well, you'll cover that in the recording. That recording will be in the Optimancer agency section once you get done making it.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, great. Because if you're going to make pages, that's great. And okay, if you can get it on the server, but then how does WordPress know that pages exist and put it in the stuff? See, I'm an idiot when it comes to coding and all that stuff.
Yeah, no, that's not a problem. I mean, most people don't know that stuff. That's why WordPress has been so prevalent for so long, is people didn't want to know that stuff. They just wanted to do their WordPress thing and just not know the world that revolved around it. So you're definitely not alone in that. The whole world has been pushed toward WordPress to not know. It's kind of like when the calculator came out. When the calculator came out, people started forgetting how to add. And, if the register turned off, the business shut down. Nobody knew how to give change, right? That's what WordPress has done to the tech world. It was the calculator that made them forget how to survive without it. So it's basic stuff. It's not difficult. It's just, you haven't done it for a decade. But I got to tell you, and this was again another conversation with the machine. I was going to take all of the beautiful files that it made for me, and I was going to turn it into a Kartra template. And it came back and it said, knowing you, based on your history and all of this, why would you want to do that? That's an awful lot of work you don't need to do. It said, why don't you just upload the HTML files I've already built for you? They're fully functional, and it would take you about 3 seconds to do that. And I'm like, it just hit me in the head like a 2x4. It's like, holy shit, what am I thinking? I wasn't. I had stopped thinking because I had a calculator. And the calculator actually was making me do way more work than if I would have just thought about it. So it's going to probably readjust my entire thinking about building sites in WordPress because this machine can build these sites far more effectively than my team can. And it might change everything for that. And Tim, if you're listening, this might change everything for you as well.
I'm hearing this, buddy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we're on the edge of something massive. All right, Arbo, go ahead.
I hope I can even remember. Anyway,
We covered a lot of ground today, huh?
as usual, but I always appreciate it. Like I said from the beginning, I love being a fly on the wall, just listening in on all of this. So one of the things I was going to comment on is of how I came to be where I am, where I'm highly technical, but also personable. And I have to give gratitude to my parents that, I mean, my dad has a ninth grade education, mom has a 12th grade education, both middle class. I come from middle class. They both worked in the automotive industry. But anyway, I say that to say that I won't say were, they are. Praise the Lord. They'll be 89
Wow, that's
this
awesome.
year. And they're both still in good health, right mind, how they say. But anyway, so thankful for the two of them. How they helped me is that they allowed me to explore life.
Mhm.
So anytime I said I wanted to do something, I mean, anything from playing the trumpet. I wanted to play the trumpet. Then they rented the trumpet, and then I didn't like it after 6 months because of the ring around my lip, and and now I want to any the clarinet or the track, whatever it was, they supported me, and so that I grew up being explorative and trying things and doing things. And so when I worked for and so I actually I got a full scholarship to Howard University and then worked for HP. And HP was known for the what if, what if. So they encouraged employees to think a certain way. So I'm saying this because there are people that we just think different. It's just like do it. We talked about it before, John, where we talked about just fail fast.
Yeah.
So when I was with HP, they would give me different assignments to do. And I didn't strategize, I didn't whatever. And I would just like do it and get it done. And then they said to me, because I was like on a really a good employee. And they said, Arbor, we'd love to move you into management, but you're not strategic. And I was like, well, what does that mean? They said, well, you don't really let people in on what your strategy is, how you're doing this, and how because I didn't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm just you told me get this done. I was getting it done. And so, quite frankly, I didn't want to be a supervisor manager anyway. I didn't want to deal with people. I say that, John, to commend you because you have the patience of a saint that woo, I would have cut some things off a lot quicker than you did. So I applaud you for that. Um, but yeah, so I dodged that bullet of management. So then the second thing I want to talk about is this agent thing that you're talking about.
Mhm.
I worked for a major digital marketing agency. And exactly what you're explaining is we had an SEO department, a web design department, social media department. We had all these different departments, and we supported anywhere from small business to large, depending on their marketing budget. And there were people, because I was one such one that were the account strategist. So our job was to understand the goals of the client
Mm-hmm.
And then we would have meetings and bring in the web designer, the SEO person, the social media, and then we would work together to come up with the overall strategy for that account. And so what you're describing with this agentic, and
That's
you've got this
exactly what it
one,
is.
it's exactly, yeah. So it's like,
Mhm.
wow, it's like I'm understanding all of this. I'm loving it. And so I just wanted, it was just a few things I was just, chiming in on, relating to. I'm listening. I'm over here working, but that's how my brain is. I'm listening, I'm um plugging it into, my past, and then also the last thing is know what your strengths are. Know what your strengths are and know what your weaknesses are. Stop trying to improve on your weaknesses. Instead, find somebody that that you can work with that is strong in the area you're weak in. I have somebody now, we have partnered because she has the patience of John, and we are working together. So she'll work with the client on all the strategy and listening to them and helping them, and then she comes back to me and said, okay, this is what we're gonna do. I'm
Yeah.
like, great, because I don't have the patience for it. All right, I'm done.
No, that is absolutely awesome. But yeah, you're right. That is exactly what this is. This is and it's like I've said all along, if you show me something that works in the real world, I can show you how to automate it online. This is like the ultimate piece of that. It's automating an entire business. And I really truly believe that within the next 2 years, I think given 2 years, I think you're going to see the first single person or maybe two or three person companies that do $1 billion in sales. I think you're going to start seeing $1 billion companies with 1 to 3 employees.
It's already happened, John. That bridge has been crossed.
Yeah. So I think you're going to see it like a a basis of the little guy, though.
Yeah. I'm looking for that strategist person, because I definitely, you give me something, I'm running with it. But
Stay close to limbo.
It's
hey, that's why I'm on these calls.
That's right.
it's
Limbo
awesome.
land is money, Prosperityville.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, but you got to do it though. You can't just talk about it and listen. You got to do it.
if ever there was a time to be alive, this is it. This is absolutely it. All right, Aaron, go ahead.
Hey, so
How's it going?
I did some homework, like you had said.
Okay, cool.
So I kind of did split segments. I did one focusing on like the human rights aspect, and then the other is more like climate and nature loving. And I feel like while I'm both are very important, I feel like the climate and nature aligns more with like sustainability and it kind of flows easier.
Hmm.
Both have kind of similar target audiences. But I think some things that kind of lit me up that seem fun are like, Earth Day, and there's kind of, events that I can tap into and get my hands dirty locally. But then, building a website and kind of the automated stuff so I can have
Uh-huh.
more time. Number four is listed as premium ethical fashion consumers. So they're style conscious shoppers who prioritize organic, fair trade, and circular materials with transparent supply chains. And the distinct psychographic segment, they have strong values and alignment and willingness to pay a higher price tag.
Okay.
Um, and that's kind of what I had seen before, except it narrowed it down more into like Gen Z, affluent, like urbanites, and
Yeah.
talking on the AI, what was it? I always
So
want to call it prosperity, but it's the other, it starts with a P.
So Earth Day, that basically triggered an idea for you. So Earth Day, I've heard of that. That's a big thing. That's probably a global thing at this point, right? The whole Earth Day thing.
Yeah.
So there's big companies behind that. There's a lot of big companies that have, thousands, if not tens of thousands of employees. Now, if their customer base is these Gen Zs that they may or may not understand, they need to understand them because it's their customer base. But if you have a better understanding of their customer base than they do, and you create designs like logo designs for clothing and things like that, you could come up with white labelable Gen Z Earth Day designs that they could put on the backs of all of their employees. Those are big accounts. Those are you're going to sell 1,000 t-shirts or 10,000 t-shirts at a whack. That's where the money is. Not selling one t-shirt.
Well, that's number one. The corporate, it says ESG and HR teams. They want the like sustainable branded apparel. So
Yes.
that's something where I wouldn't even necessarily need to design because they could put their brand on it.
No, you need to do the designs that are white labelable that their brand goes on to.
So I make a design and say, just add your logo to this.
Yes, exactly. Because see, you're in tune with their audience. So you create the designs that they would want to be in tune with their audience. They naturally want their emblem on them because they want to self-promote, but they also want to hit their target audience and them actually selling these. Like I could see these being for sale at events where all their employees are wearing all the branded gear and they're selling it out to their customers. I mean, if it's got messages that the customer and the clientele is going to want to be proud of and wear on their chest or on their back or wherever on their head, uh,
Yeah.
you could sell a bunch of those to one customer versus trying to sell one to a bunch of customers.
Yeah.
It's the same amount. Here's something I've learned. It's the same amount of effort to sell to an individual retail client as it is to sell to a corporation. Same amount of effort, same amount of marketing materials, same amount of cost, same amount of time. But the difference is putting $20 in your pocket versus putting $20,000 in your pocket.
Yeah.
If you give
I
me
think
the
it's like
choice,
it gives me anxiety because how do
if
I
you,
just target them right away? I'm not John where I'm just cool, calm, and collected and can talk to anyone.
yeah, no, you got a point there. Confidence is the key. When you go into anyone, you need to be confident of your work.
Yeah.
So tell me, what is the difference in your confidence level, whether you're selling this to a single person or a CEO?
I think it's just the made up levity of it because,
Exactly, exactly. It's
but
only the badge you place on it.
yeah,
And the only person responsible for placing that badge is you. And you're the only one that can remove it and throw it in the trash where it belongs.
right.
And
Yeah.
when you do, you're going to find out that you speak with the same confidence in front of the CEO as you do in front of the mom next door.
Yeah.
It really is that simple. I mean, I don't mean to belittle what you're going through or what you're feeling, but if you get down to the nitty gritty, and that's NLP, that's neuro linguistic programming. When you change that wiring, it happens instantly. You don't need to go to therapy for 6 years to fix this. This is something that you make a decision, a conscious decision, and it locks in.
Yeah.
It doesn't require 6 years of therapy. That's the saving grace. But it
Yeah.
really is. That's just a mind shift. I know I learned a lot of NLP stuff from Matt Bronning, and he talked about this with a lot of business owners have what is called a financial thermostat. And the way it works is you're programmed from childhood that money is evil. You're programmed that, you shouldn't have money. And if you do, you got to save it. You got to like put it aside for a rainy day. And all you're doing is you're just programming that rainy day to come by doing that. You're planting a seed that's going to grow into a massive tree it's called disaster. Planting a seed for, oh, I need money for a rainy day. You're planted the seed. So he talks about that thermostat and what happens if you have this in place. You didn't do it. It was done to you, but you're the only one that can fix it. So as you're growing up, this is done to you, over time by the way you're brought up. And I've seen this in a lot of my friends. A lot of my friends have this thermostat in place. And when they hit a certain level of success, they sabotage it because it's too hot. They got above the thermostat, the comfort level, and they had to turn it down. And the only way they could do that is sabotaging. I had one of my really good friends from high school. He's the best sales guy I know. Best sales guy walking the face of the earth as far as I'm concerned. But he could never get to true success because every time he made a lot of money, he would sabotage it. And it was from the way his parents programmed him, and he never realized it. So it just kept happening over and over and over. But that thermostat, you have to remove that thermostatic barrier that you've got to money. I wasn't told that growing up. I was not told things like money doesn't grow on trees. I wasn't told save your money for a rainy day. I never heard that kind of stuff unless I went to my friends' houses. Then I heard it like it was raining, like it was a rainstorm. What I heard was you can have anything, you just need to figure out how to get the money to get it. That was more the messaging that I was drilled with. There's no reason you can't have that. Here's how much it costs. You need to go get that money. Figure out how you're going to get it. So that programmed me differently than my friends. And all of my friends are still stuck in that thermostat. They have a barrier and they'll never get over it. So to me, it's kind of sad, and it's not your fault. You didn't do that. You didn't put that in. It was put in for you, and you were helpless against it as you're growing up. You're helpless against that. I'm just thankful that I wasn't subject to it. It doesn't say anything about bad parenting. It's just, they're doing things the way they're brought up and the way they're taught and all that. But it is abusive. I think it's absolutely abusive to a kid to be raised that way. I think that's the worst abuse possible because it's going to affect their entire life in a way they can't even see. So, but it's super easy to break that. It's super easy to undo that. And it's basically just conscious thought. That's all NLP is. It's just it's just looking things from a different way and reassociating what you associate. You associate that thermostat, you associate, you've got this deep seed of money is evil. And what that does, that says, well, if I get money, then I'm going to be evil, and I'm not evil. And it's a conflict. It's a direct conflict with your conscious and your subconscious. And the subconscious is going to win every time. The subconscious is far more powerful than the conscious mind. It's going to beat it every time without even trying. So you can think, oh yeah, I need to make more money. More money would be great. You're not going to break that subconscious barrier with conscious thought. You have to go back and realign the subconscious. You have to tell it a new way to think about things. And once you do, bang, it's gone. It's out of your way, and then you'll move forward effortlessly. It's I know it sounds like hocus pocus, and there's some
No.
people probably sitting here thinking he's as full of shit as a Christmas goose. But I'm telling you, I've seen this over and over and over.
I
Can
just have
can you make a quantum tool that is an NLP money thermostat transformer?
yeah.
Oh, I'm serious.
A lot of times a lot of times the way you fix things like that is with the timeline technique. You have to go back to where it started and readjust it there. And then all of a sudden, it's like everything that you are today is like a string of pearls. It's stacked up one on top of another on a string. And if you go back, they're all based on an initial belief. Wherever that belief was placed in, it was probably at childhood. You go back and you readjust that initial belief. And it's literally like you cut the string and all those false pearls just fall away. So the best example I know of is the person that has road rage. That person has got a problem with anger and they don't know how to deal with it. And the anger is from something that happened probably when they were 2 or 3 years old.
Yeah,
And
they
it's
cut me off when I was 2 or 3 years old. I was driving down the road on my little mini trike and they cut me off, and I've been angry at them ever since. Oh,
no,
I'm
it's
sorry. Oh, my
not
mic's
about
on. Oops.
like I'll give you a perfect example. I never had like road rage to that level, but I had like I had stuff I would just out of the blue, it would just set me off. I'd just get pissed. You guys see me as a different person at this point because I've cut that string of pearls. Like Arba's telling me I'm a saint and all of this. I'm not. I'm just self-managed very well. But I went back, I did the timeline. I went back in time and I actually found the first incident that I could identify as anger. And it was a time before I could even talk. And I'll tell you what it was. And you guys are going to think, God, yeah, he's really messed up. But I had a sandbox outside on our patio, and it was my sandbox. That was my kingdom. And I had my toys in my kingdom, right? And my mother was like the center of my universe at that point. And again, we're talking about a kid before they can talk. I don't know what age that is, but Aaron, you probably know better than I do. How old was I? Two, one, 1.5, three,
Yeah. I
somewhere in
mean, somewhere between like 1 and 2 and
Yeah, so that's where I am, and I'm in my sandbox, in my kingdom, with my toys. And my mom has to go out somewhere. So she's no longer the center of my universe, and her friend came over to watch me, and her friend had a little girl that was about my same age. And here is an intruder in my castle, right? This little girl's in my sandbox, and I don't want her there. This is my domain, and she's in there, and I got nothing to do about it. My mom ain't here to protect me, and I don't know like what happened, but I was not happy, and I didn't want her playing with my toys. And her mother came over and slapped my hand because I was not playing nice in the sandbox, right? That's my fucking sandbox, not yours. You're not my mother, and I can't express any of this. So I'm just like on fire. I am just furious, and there ain't nothing I can do about it. And that is where my first experience with anger came from. And is it rational? No. Is it even like what is it? It's insanity. Why would I be mad? Like today, you drop a girl in my sandbox, I'm gonna like thank you. Honestly, right on. Score. But at that point, that wasn't me. That was a different person. It was a different experience. But it set my thermostat. It set my thermostat to anger. And the anger was unrational. The anger was wrong. There was nothing right about that anger, but it locked in, right? I didn't know it. Here I'm, a teenager, and I'm every little string of pearls beyond that has been based on that false anger, right? It's based upon something that's not real. So with timeline, what you do is you venture back to that point and you replay that in your mind. And you like go down and you re-experience it. And I got to tell you, when I re-experience that anger, it's a damn good thing that I was not an adult and experienced that kind of anger, because I would have destroyed the freaking world. I would have done things that I wouldn't even say. That person would not have walked out alive, let's say. All of them. None of them. That would have been a crime scene. But I refelt that. It was like, holy shit. That kind of anger I didn't even know I was capable of. And then you float out of the scene and you watch the scene replay from your adulthood perspective. You watch it like you watch a movie. And now all of a sudden it looks absurd. It's like, what the hell? Why was I mad at that? And what you did was you just changed the belief. You went back into your past, you traveled back in time, and you altered your future by changing your past. That's what I'm talking about by cut the string of pearls, because every piece of anger that's stacked on top of that is now no longer real and it all falls away. And you just flushed your anger thermostat. You have none. And it's the same thing with money. You find those instances of where that thermostat was set and it created a belief. You go back in time, you change the belief, you look at it from your perspective now, you say, that's ridiculous. And that's all it takes. You change the belief and everything. I'm going to tell you how to change the future. This is it. You change your future by altering your past. And you know that sounds hocus pocus, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's the way it works and it's proven. I can't really say it's scientific. Maybe it is. I don't know. I can't say that because I don't know. But
I did that work and they were calling it like somatic healing, where you like picture how you felt in your body and you close your eyes and it's like that inner child healing, but it's the same kind of it's the same concept wrapped in a different type
yeah,
of language. But my problem is like I don't know when, because my family didn't talk about money, but the money didn't grow on trees was definitely a thing, or
yeah.
you know,
Well, I
not
didn't.
able to get whatever we wanted. It's like
Yeah.
you you can
Well,
pick out one thing, but you have to not.
It probably goes back to a point where like you wanted to buy something and your parents told you they couldn't afford it or something like that. And in your mind, you're like, oh, it's a $2 glass, but you didn't get the concept. I think that's where it goes back to. And I'm trying. I myself still keep fishing for it in my own life.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the timeline exercise is NLP. It's a deep meditation type
Mhm.
thing. And I would have never found it if it weren't for that. Because I couldn't remember. I don't remember back that far.
Mhm.
I can't, it's beyond my conscious scope to remember back that far. But your brain recorded all of that and it's all in there. It's a matter of access. So in a deep meditation, you can travel the timeline freely. And man, I found shit on that timeline that I wasn't aware of. And it's actually where I found a lot of the stuff about how I am who I am. Like I went back and I found where my dad, all the little lessons that my dad had taught me about business. Like when we were on that little fishing boat, and I asked him, why don't we have a big boat like that? And he said, because I have a job. I didn't remember that as an adult. I had no concept that that had ever taken place. I had the outcome of it. I knew or I knew who I am and what I am doing, but I didn't know where it came from. I didn't know why my beliefs are so strong on it. Like it's ingrained in me. That freedom, that whole freedom, it's like my number one thing. If there's anything I'll fight to the death for, it's that.
It's amazing what you could do with someone who knows NLP, by the way, and I could help with that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, timeline is a huge one.
Yeah, and I honestly
Or
I don't
limiting
know that.
belief systems or
Yeah. I know very little honestly about NLP. I'm not trained in it. I'm not, anything like that, but I can tell you how powerful it is, and I can tell you the little bit I know about it that I've used it for. It is incredibly powerful.
yeah, it is. I got certified in it for that reason. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's actually how powerful it is. Yeah.
It's awesome. So
So outside of healing my money wound, what can I do to like the next step, the next homework that I can do for completing for next week and moving forward?
So I would start doing like somebody said it on here a little earlier. Start talking to people and just throwing that idea out. Do you think, this is a good idea? Uh, and you got to talk to the right people. So if you want to focus on the corporate people, do a little bit of a hunt and find out who you would need to talk to and say, hey, I'm thinking about creating this line. Is this something that, would be useful to you, or would you be interested in this? And if so, I could just create one for you, a unique one just for your company. And, they may lean into that and say, yeah, that would be great. And then it's communication. You're building a relationship with that person. So now all of a sudden you're on their team, you're part of their world. So you start asking the right questions, consultative, selling. If we were to do this, would you be buying these for all the employees? Would you be selling these at events? How many do you think you would want? All of that. And you're basically building a product line with the buyer. There's no better thing than to work directly with a buyer to build them exactly what they want. And they're going to buy a lot of them, so it's going to be very much, worth your time to build it. And if you do that, you might not even need marketing. You don't need marketing to that. You can go right directly from the research to the product to the sale. Boom, one shot. No marketing, no sales, no nothing. That's your fastest path to cash. Most people don't do it that way. I've done it many times that way, and it is painless. It's like you're building something for somebody that already wants it and they're willing to pay you for it. And they even give you money up front for it. You can even tell them, hey, this is great. This is about what this project would cost. If we just start off with an initial budget to get me going, I can start in on building it for you. You can literally walk out the door with a check, and now you're in business. So that
Yeah.
would, and that's not an easy thing to do. That's not like an easy task. You might not be able to just run out and knock that out and be back on next week going, yeah, it worked great.
Yeah.
But that's something you want to get on that trajectory. You can get on with AI, you can brainstorm with AI, you can kick it around, maybe have AI recommend who you should be talking to. Make a list. Give me the top 10 people that are within 5 miles of me. And then, go that direction. But I mean, that would be a good thing for you to accomplish by next week is to do your brainstorming with the AI and come up with a list of prospects, even if you haven't talked to them yet.
Yeah. Well, and it's not, I mean, if I magically land the first one, it's like every no is one step closer to yes. It's
Oh,
just make
yeah.
sure I learn from the no's. And also,
Yeah,
if you never ask them, the answer's already no. So what do you have to lose?
exactly. And
So
and as far as like them saying no, here's something that might change it to a yes. Most people will walk away from a no and just be done. But here's something that can easily change a no to a maybe to a yes. And it's a simple one sentence line that's what's holding you back. If you know it's good for them and they know it's good for them and they give you a no anyway, what's holding you back? And what you're doing there in a non-evasive way is you're asking for the objection because it hasn't been stated clearly. And if you understand what the objection is, then you can complete the conversation and then ask them again, and you might not get a no on the second time.
Hmm.
yeah,
It's a really non-salesy, easy, soft, fuzzy, warm approach to doing sales. Because I hate greasy sales. I hate a pushy, overbearing person trying to sell me on stuff. That just turns me off, and I know that's not your vibe, you know.
no,
But you're there to help.
yeah,
So your questions are, you can even act surprised when you say it. You say, really? Wow, that's interesting. Well, man, what's holding you back? Because by doing that, the way I just did it, I'm implying they're not operating in their best interest.
yeah,
And that's going to throw them off key because they're thinking you're going to hard sell them. And when you don't, that's going to throw them off key. And then that could get them to lean in. Believe
yeah,
me, I've worked with a lot of big companies. I've worked with a lot of manufacturers, and they're easy to throw off key. Once you're off key, then they're easy to reel them in.
yeah. Well, and I think one of the biggest objections that I've been seeing come up is like the time that it takes for like these products to come, and how I'm marketing it is slow fashion because it's not Amazon. It's not, it's every step of the process is made with intention. So your orders need to be also made with intention and care and thought. So you can't order today and expect it tomorrow. We need to plan in the time.
Yeah,
So I think I need to work on the language on how to communicate that slow fashion isn't necessarily a bad thing. We just have to build this into our plan of attack for each drop, because
yeah.
they're
Well,
not coming from within the United States, coming from outside of the United States. So we have to make sure
okay.
if there's an issue, we can clear customs and blah 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 blah.
Okay. Did you call it slow fashion?
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that. Slow is a negative. Slow, I
But
would keep,
fast fashion is also a negative because it implies lack of care. It's everything's made fast, it's cheap quality. Slow fashion is like every step of the process comes with intent.
yeah. So what I would do, because believe me, I dealt with a lot of companies, a lot of manufacturers, and they have unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
And here's how I would manage their expectations. I would say we offer three things. We offer fast delivery, we offer low price, and we offer top quality. And you can pick two. Which
Oh
two
my
are
God,
most
say that again.
important to you? That will put you in control of your pricing because they're never going to want the low price. They're never going to not want the quality, right? That's never going to be, well, yeah, I want cheap shit. No, that's not happening. So they're never going to give up the quality. And what happens is they'll take the lower price, sometimes they'll have a longer wait. So that is not saying, oh, we have slow fashion, but you're getting them to tell you they want it slow because they want a better price. And if your prices are padded, no problem.
Yeah.
So that puts your price on a sliding scale. If you want it fast, it's gonna be really expensive, but we can do it. And guaranteed, if they give you enough money, you don't have to go overseas. You can get that stuff done right here in your backyard. And you can
Well,
get it.
that's the thing in doing the research for the caliber that I'm looking for. It doesn't exist in the United States. At least I couldn't find it.
Oh no, it does. Believe me, I ran a fashion company.
Well, maybe you can help me to, because I would love to not have to deal with the customs. Every company that I found did one of the things, but not all of the things.
Yeah, no, I had my stuff cut and sewn in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So we were not going overseas, but we were not low price either. We were the highest price there was.
Yeah.
It
Well,
reminds me of a Cyndi Lauper song. What was it? Money changes everything.
It does. I guarantee you. I can guarantee you money changes everything. We had
Sorry,
people that
Aaron.
did not want crap and they wanted it fast. So we had to get it done locally.
yeah. Well, like this is just the level that I've gone to that I found was the company that I find they source their stuff in India, and in India it's not even called organic 'cause they just don't have the money for the chemicals, but the cotton is grown in the mountains in the rainy season and harvested in like a fair trade facility, which the fabric is made and the clothing is made, and then it's shipped to England where it's all like they run their dyes through the gamut of tests. So anything that comes out of the factory, it's filtered and they can like actually drink the water. It's run on full solar. Like everything is intentional all the way through. And I kept digging and digging and digging in the US, and every company that I found, they're like, oh, well, you have to make one specific design that then will print everything for, but you have to batch of like 10,000 um and
So
I
that works if you're in the art world. If you're in the art world, people will pay absorbent amount of money for things that are unique and, those kind of processes and that kind of thing where they are very limited. But in manufacturing and in clothing and a low dollar item, that doesn't really like I bet you all
but
the
it's
stuff
a
that
low
you just
item.
all the stuff that you just mentioned, I would be willing to bet you if that was the stuff you were putting on the table, telling them this is why the price is this, they're going to say, "Well, I don't want that."
Well,
I
that's
would,
what my target audience is the ones that want the like trackable, eco-friendly thing, not greenwashed items. Because that's one of their things is they think they're buying this greenwash thing. It's organic
when
cotton, but it's made in a factory that isn't fair trade. So
yeah,
then there's
when you
like
talk about that audience though, are you talking about the retail end user, the retail end customer?
well, like I said, when I read through the list, it's the let me find it.
Because you have to think logically through the whole thing. You've got end customers that, yeah, there's end customers that will say they want that kind of thing. But when it comes down to putting the rubber to the road and you say, well, yeah, this shirt, because of all this, is $250, they're not going to buy it.
Well, it would still
They
I
love
could
the idea of it,
I could, but depending on the batches, like
but you get
I
what I'm saying?
but I like, for a hoodie, for example, I think a lot of people already assume that like you could charge easily $80 for a hoodie, especially with like these credentials.
Yeah.
And that would be a really good markup for
Yeah.
me to sell it at 80. And if they're batch buying, then they can get it at a lower price
Yeah.
for target audiences. But if it's to the individual consumer, $80 is like you go to a music concert and you're paying almost $100 for a hoodie and it's cheap quality and it gets,
Yeah.
where it has.
But they're not buying a hoodie, they're buying the band. They're buying
Yes.
a piece of history. That's a totally different, totally different. That's why here's a perfect example. Who is your market? People going to a concert. Perfect. And what do they want? They want to take home a piece of history. Perfect. Why do they want it? Because nobody else has it. It shows that they went to the thing.
Yeah.
It's like a talking point. It puts them as an object of conversation. Those are the things. Like when I say you need to be able to answer those questions, that's why they'll pay $100 for a hoodie that's not worth $100. They could have got it at Walmart for $6 probably, but they'll pay 100 because of those reasons. And I use this in actual marketing presentations where I talk about water and marketing water in different labels. I say you can take the same bottle of water and you can market it to three different groups. This is a lesson in how much the water is worth to each group. And I say same bottle of water, just different label, different marketing, different point of sale, different consumer. So I said the three markets we're going to hit is health, and then we're going to hit fitness, and then we're going to hit green. You're the green bucket. So people will buy the water because it helps the earth, right? That's a reason. That's why they would want it. That's what they want it for. The fitness, they want the water for performance. They want to get an edge. They want this water to hydrate their cells and we're going to market it that way where they're going to get an edge when they're in the race. And then there's the health market. And we're going to market it to where this water penetrates your cells and helps them move out the bad cells so the cancer vanishes, right? Who's going to pay the most for that water? The person that's going to prolong their life. The person that's not healthy that wants to buy their health back, they'll pay $20 a bottle all day long and twice on Sunday. Forever. As long as they're alive, they'll keep paying for that water, right? That's your most profitable niche for a bottle of water. Second is fitness. They'll pay $20 for the bottle of water right before the race or maybe working up into the race. But as soon as the race is over, they ain't paying $20 for a bottle of water. And the green people, you're going to find out just how much they want to save the earth when you tell them that bottle of water is $20. All of a sudden, they don't give a rat's ass about the earth. They ain't paying $20 for a bottle of water. And I know that it's your thing, and I know it's what charges you up, but it's the reality of people. I'm talking about the reality of people and marketing and sales to them. And quite honestly, I'll total confession here. I don't know that market very well. In fact, I don't know it at all, but intuitively, it just intuitively tells me that they're not going to pay $20 for a bottle of water.
But
That
I'm
they
not targeting just green people. I'm targeting a business that's their whole business model. So they want to find products that reflect their value and not
Okay.
say, oh, like one of the things it said.
So that's where I was asking you, like, who are you talking about the retail end customer? So you're not talking about the retail end customer.
Well, I went to the one that you were talking about, like the big businesses,
Yeah.
and you know, they might buy, like it says that their core problem is that they buy something, but then they find out it's greenwashed. And they find out, oh, there was like a labor scandal with that company. So then it's
Yeah.
putting their ideals and their morals at risk.
Yeah. Because I want to see you stay in that corporate world because that's where the money is.
Yeah.
If you go down to the end consumer, you're going to have a really tough fight. But if you can stick in that corporate world and you understand their values and what they're looking for, and you can become part of their supply chain, you can make a lot of money.
Yeah.
I
And
just want to make sure you stick into that channel and
yeah,
and stay there.
yeah. Well, that's why I was kind of dialing back. And it's like, I can also, after that's dialed, then I'll have the freedom to kind of play with my designs and have the website for the individuals. But
Because I know the primary goal, we got to feed them babies' ears.
yeah. Well, my husband's the money maker right now. I'm the stay-at-home mom, and I'm just trying to figure out a way outside of crypto to be my own person and still do things.
Yeah, yeah. But even that being the case, I still want you in the safety zone.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to be in the negative this year. That's my goal. And I like Earth Day is too close of a target.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think, yeah, dialing in and doing some research and figuring out. I mean, I live in Flagstaff, so we don't really have businesses that I can go talk to in person. So for me, it's going to be finding anywhere, anywhere
Yeah,
in the US.
yeah.
And if anybody
You
wants to
might, you
find
might,
a local distributor, I'm all about sourcing local. I just didn't find anything
yeah,
in my,
you might look at like trade shows and events and go and talk to them there where you got a group of them together gathering and collaborating.
yeah.
Can
Or
I, can I, Aaron, I buy clothes from a company called, oh my gosh, if you put your email in the chat, I'll forward you one of their emails. It's, Gudrun Sojin out of, Sweden or Norway, and she has been designing clothes for like 52 years. She's a single woman, and so John, slow everything is like a thing like slow food, slow fashion. So it's a whole
Yeah.
niche.
it
Uh,
is.
so it's not such a bad term in that market. People know exactly what Aaron's pointing to. But
Okay.
Aaron, on Sojin's website, uh, like she does like journeys, like she tells the story because all her people want to know all about where she's buying the fabric and how they make it. And so she literally goes to India and will put on a video and she'll show you this is hello, I am working with children for 50 years and, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, people, and, it's, she's got a big enough market where it's affordable, but it's definitely more money. So I will find the website and put the URL here because it's a funny Swedish spelling. I can't even say it properly. But anyway, I just wanted to jump in because you might be able to even talk with her. I don't know, I think she speaks English, but she's in her 70s now and very accessible and really lovely woman. So anyway, I just wanted to offer because I know what you're talking about. There's very little happening in the US in this arena.
Yeah. And I think there is, despite John's claims, I think there is a market for it. And
Well, I know it might not seem like it, but my primary job is to protect you.
I know,
Yeah.
I know, but
Well,
I
I
also
don't know
don't
everything,
want to
so
lose. I
I'm
don't want to lose because it's like if I let something slip, then I'm just as bad as the next one. So I want to create something that stands for something, and I don't want to budge from that. So it's like I can change the designs and words and whatever, but like the product or the sourcing is going to be pristine, and I
we
want the
we just need to find the volume purchaser for you so
No,
you can.
I want to offer something that might be worth checking into. In Kent State, they have a fashion school, and they're really world renowned. Kent State University,
Penn State.
yeah, in Ohio, and just look up there. There's a lot of affiliates that, because of how well renowned they are in fashion, there's a lot of companies that collaborate with them. So you might be able to tag along with that as well.
I'll do some digging.
Also, I went to Parsons School of Design, and they're one of the biggest fashion design schools in the United States. I don't know if they have sustainable fashion design, but if anybody does, they probably do. It might be an interesting niche, like John was saying, to dive into the colleges offering this kind of a program, because the younger the person, the more they are aware that the earth is being killed off, and they care,
Yeah.
and college kids care. So it might be an interesting crossover niche, even coming out of college with AI taking over everything. So anyway,
Yeah.
happy to brainstorm with you, Erin.
Well, and also I appreciate that. And also like taking it even one step further into this green is the company that I found, they do circular design. So one of like the core problems is they ordered this batch of stuff and then they didn't sell it at their event. Well, you can take that and you can recycle it back at a discount, and then the clothing will never like hit landfills. So it's like I've thought about every layer
Yeah,
possible.
that's
That's
cool.
a
Well,
whole
that's
business
a
in
service
itself.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's, yeah, I think I'll look and see if anything exists. But like I said, John, like I can't find things in the US. And I think with the customs, that might be the biggest holdup. So I need to kind of research and see,
Well,
like
if
build
that's
that.
the if that's the case, it's not really a problem. It's just, you know, part of the
Plan.
sale. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just part of the communication so you have your expectations right. And
Yeah.
maybe slow is not a problem. Like I
Yeah.
said, we offer three things. We offer speed, quality, and price. So all that means is you're gonna give up the speed for the quality and the price.
Yeah.
You're still in the ballpark. You can still win. My concern just is that the price is not a problem because you can't fix the slow. So that's where you have to live is price and quality. And if they're okay with the price, that's all I want to make sure. I just want to make sure they're okay with the price.
Yeah.
Like when you say, college kids care about the earth, that really throws up a red flag for me. Do they have the money to matter? It's one thing to care, but it's another thing, will they part with the money? So that's
They
all.
usually, yeah, the college kids usually care when it's on mommy and daddy's money. When they have to start paying it for themselves, all of a sudden their
Yeah.
values start to change a little.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
They're
But the
yeah.
kids in certain colleges have mommy and daddy's money, and they've already been groomed to be upper middle class and upper class in terms of income, so they do have the money.
And that's exactly who's coming up as my target
Like
audience.
Villanova, all the Seven Sisters, all the expensive colleges. Those kids are all silver spoon babies, except for the scholarship kids.
Yeah, but you're back to the one-to-one. I'm trying to keep her in a profitable zone. So I want to keep this from
Right,
being
but
a
I'm talking
debate.
about this.
Allie, slow down. I want to keep this from being a debate. Right? This is not a debate about
I
whether
just mean for
college
the
kids
interviewing
have
process,
money.
like who they buy from, because then if she knows who they buy from, she can
Okay,
do those
Allie,
collaborations.
we need to stop.
Okay.
We need to stop the debate. This is marketing. I'm just trying to keep her profitable. This isn't about debating college kids and who their parents are. So please just let's keep things on track. All right. So anything else, Aaron, for now?
No, so my homework, I can do a little research to see if I can find any suppliers local, but I'm not going to probably waste too much time because I did that a lot last year, but I'll try to see like 10 companies that are kind of my ideal. And
Yeah, that's a good next step.
I'll have some conversations with Perplexity on like how to structure conversations about or surrounding slow fashion and
Yeah, but
dig.
just keep in mind you're looking for volume sales and you're looking for, places where that matters and you can have slow be a benefit. But just make sure they're willing to pay for it and that's basically that's your thing. Like that's your profitable niche. So
Yeah.
when you go to your market segmentation, that's what you're hunting for. You're hunting for that segment.
For
So
value.
stay out of the single sales, whether they can afford it or not. It's a painful process.
Yeah.
You
I
want to move a container full in one shot.
yeah.
That's where your money's going to be.
Yes. Okay.
The
Thank you.
rest, I can assure you, I did it. It's painful. I would never do it again.
Yeah. Bass shirts.
Yeah, I would never do it again. Now moving them through Walmart, yeah, all day.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Tim. You had your hand up there for a while. I know you've been entertained here for a bit.
Well, I'm always entertained. I learn more things from this call from, well, you guys talk about them with my own stuff.
Well, cool.
I've got a thing with I've asked my affiliates, something that, you know what I mean? You and I have talked about this in the website area of people struggling to get their content written. So the fact that I've got a lot of clients that we've rewritten their content on their homepage to help build leads, I put together um, I put together an offer to do it for rewrite your homepage. Now I'm not doing your site. I'm just rewriting the content and sending it to you in a format for
Mhm.
297. And I built a sales page onto it. And I wanted your opinion on it.
Okay.
All right. Now again, I'm going off the fact that this is what my if you, I don't know if you want to put it,
That's a high vol or a high value thing. Um,
but
and
I can do it. There's the if
297
you could pull to
is
the chat, grab the page and pull it up and look at it from an outside point of view. But yeah, we put it together for like 297 because it's something I can do in a matter of hours.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not a and I've built I've got an AI. It's not a GPT, but I've got an AI system to stick to it to be able to write. And I've got like a 6 point questionnaire that asks them what I need from them, who their clients are, and I rewrite the content for them.
Okay.
So, and I give them up to 3 rewrites for like the 297 price point. And I really wanted you to look at this because I tried following all of our guidelines in the ACT program with it. And this is just like my get cash now offer that I'm trying to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, that's pretty clear.
Hmm.
Your homepage isn't converting. What you might do is you might put a little mystery into it.
Okay.
Like you might say, we have a process for this. You don't tell them really necessarily what it is. Like here you're kind of alluding to the process.
Hmm.
I might take this out and say we have a three-step process for this without telling them what it is, because that's your proprietary thing that you're going to do for them for the 297
Yeah.
and simplify it that way. The
Okay.
wording here, I love the concept of it. I'm not
Mhm.
sure that it's worded quite right.
Okay.
Um, I think if you go,
Hold on. I had another version of it too. Let me see if I can find my notes onto it real quick. And I should have, sorry, this is one thing I didn't pull up was my notes to keep my notes handy for it today.
something like your website's losing money.
Um, we're trying to get away from the terms like that of the website's losing money. We're trying to get the idea on the leads process because I don't want to act like I'm selling money. I want to sell like I'm selling them to get better
Calling
leads.
leads. Okay, you could easily switch it to that.
Yeah.
But like with
Um,
a big idea, like
yeah.
this is where you need a big idea. And a big idea has three things. The most primary thing that it has is a promise. So your main headline should allude to a promise. And
Okay.
then a unique way that you're going to deliver that unique mechanism is what delivers the result. And that's where I was talking about like this three-step formula. and then you say it in a way they've probably never heard it before.
Well, the other one I had was is your homepage costing you leads? Was the other line I had was asking a question more.
Yeah, you don't want a question they could say no to, and if they don't know, then the answer is no. They might
Okay.
not know they have a problem.
I also had your website isn't broken, it's just not converting.
That's
I
good.
don't, is that a good headline though?
That could be a good lead in to a big idea.
Okay.
So that could be
Where do you see me taking steps to get to the big idea on this?
so that could be like what they call an eyebrow. The eyebrow leads into the big idea.
Okay.
So what you just said is probably a perfect eyebrow, which is the text that goes above the headline. The
Okay.
headline should be the big idea. And that's the promise, the unique mechanism said in a way they've maybe never heard it before.
Okay.
I think if you did that, you'd have a winner. Big idea is where the game is won or lost because that's your attention grabber.
Okay.
So this is a statement. This is actually two statements without a promise.
Okay.
One of the biggest features of a big idea is a promise. This is educational, which is great. But from a marketing perspective, if you're trying to grab attention to pull them in to sell them something, you need a big idea.
Okay. I'll put that and any feedback ideas with what you know I'm trying to do. I'm gonna put it into the to the big idea generator in Quantum here then
Yeah, absolutely.
and get
Throw
a
it in
couple more
there.
there. But
It's way better at this game than I am.
yeah, but scroll down, see anything else you see on the page that you think, Tim, you need to really get rid of or change out. I've got the three steps to change out.
So what you're going to probably need to do is you're going to need to come up with a unique mechanism of what this thing's called that encompasses the three things that it's going to do in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like here, um, it's gonna describe what you do, who it's for, and what to do next. That's kind of like Frank Kern's. The here's what I've got, here's what it's going to do for you, here's what I want you to do next. That is a solid formula that Frank Kern has used and packaged and taught and sold for years.
Mm-hmm.
So you could have Tim's version of that
Yeah.
and put a name to it. And now that's your unique mechanism that's going to do the work for them. That's what they're
Okay.
going to pay you the 297 for that process.
Okay.
Not a homepage lead conversion rewrite. That's just
Yeah, I didn't like that term, and I've been trying to toy around to find something better with it. So now that tells me
so
where
that
else to go.
this should be your unique mechanism. That's what they're buying.
Yeah.
Unique mechanism is the thing that does the result, gets the result.
Okay.
So that's what you're selling is that unique mechanism. The big
Mm,
idea is the promise delivered by the unique mechanism, said in an interesting way.
okay.
And that will make these fly off the shelf,
Yeah.
or it should anyway. Then another thing, you can say it's 297 and it takes 3 weeks, but if you want it fast, then it's 497.
Well, I mean, I have it in the system. I have it in my cartridge that I could sell it at 497, and I was going to offer it 297 as a discount.
Yeah.
Um, I thought about going that route too, but I don't. Right now, I'm just trying to get the offer up because I mean, some people suggested it in my affiliate program, but I don't. I'm not putting a sales page up unless I have it done right. I've done this too many. I've failed too many times.
I was just playing off the whole we have quality, we have speed,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
have low
yeah, yeah.
price. Because that works. I mean, believe it or not, that tames a lot of customers' expectations.
Oh yeah, I know. My maintenance program is it's I've been doing the top tier, the 297 a month, because of the fact they tell them how fast I work on their sites if they have that package.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you want change around, I can do it for you in 48 hours. Whereas if you have just the basic level, okay, it's 7 days. And most people are buying it because they want it that fast. And the other thing I started doing was the Act Today price, where
Yeah.
I've given people
The fast actor move.
the fast actor move. I've given people the middle level or the top level for the middle level price, but they've got 5 hours to make up their mind.
Yeah.
And I have sold three of them that way, and it's like, it's just and um, I like them because those are the people who give me work that challenges me. Like creating this. I've created this, but I have a hard time creating it for myself. But
Oh,
I can create it for you all day long, John. But
yeah.
for yourself, you have a hard time creating it.
I have the same thing. That's why I'm actually falling in love with this agentic thing because it does my work for me that I can't do.
Well, the other thing I say is like, it's like there's times that Craig and I swap ideas because like we're sitting there going, okay, I'm stumped. So Craig will call me, I'm stumped. Tell me what I should do. I do the same thing with him, and it's just I'm like maybe I need to write your content for your website, John. You need to write it for mine. We'd probably get done faster.
Yeah. I went to Craig's mastermind thing yesterday and kind of showed him a little glimpse into what the
Yeah.
agentic has been doing for me over the last couple of weeks, and it pretty much blew everybody's mind.
Yeah, I was going to be out there, but I've had the floors were torn up in my house. If you notice, my whole background's different because all my floors are ripped up.
Yeah.
I've had construction crews here for 3 days working on floors.
All right. Well,
So
cool.
otherwise, I would have been there, but then I wouldn't be on this call today. I would be sitting in his house.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I want. I'm gonna take those notes and improve on that. I may send you a text later with my improvements and have you just give me notes.
Okay. Awesome.
Thanks.
All right. We'll hit a mid here and wrap it up for today. We're way over time. We're,
Yeah,
geez,
we way over time.
two and a
Yes.
half
Thank you.
hours.
Sorry. The two questions I have. First is if you take a market, like let's say real estate investing, and I did that into the quantum AI,
Uh-huh.
and you're trying to segment it down to figure out what is really you coming down to, it which AI do you use for that? Because it seems to be going off on things that I didn't think they're more relevant now.
You mean
But
which AI is used inside quantum?
yeah,
I don't actually know the answer to that. There's multiple AIs depending on what process it's using.
okay. Because I was
So,
working with the market segment piece
yeah, I
so
think
that I could
I
identify the buyer after that.
I believe that's using Claude.
Okay.
It's
Because on the one he used, real estate by itself, it really did better job on that demo than the actual thing. So I may use another tool to come up with something and then use that as a buyer
okay. Yeah.
segment. But
Yeah.
and
All the AIs will give different results based on the prompting around it and the context that it has about it.
okay, I see. And the other question I have, when I texted you about the DNC thing,
Mhm.
is this similar to what you put in how I want it from me, correct?
Yeah,
How
for your
to do
DNS
it person.
records.
Yeah,
Yeah, you just need to copy them and paste them so I can copy and paste them.
okay. And the last thing I have a question on was, oh, the brand blurb app.
Uh-huh.
How do I access that?
That one is in the branding box inside Quantum.
Okay, thank you.
There's a folder for brand
hmm That
and
would help you go
tool,
through that process
yeah,
first. Okay.
that
All
tool
right.
is in
I
there.
didn't realize that. Thank you. That's
Yep.
it. So we should wrap it
All
up for
right.
today.
Well, cool. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. And if any of you guys want to see the, I don't know if it's a demo, it's basically, I'm just going to be doing this for Gwen. And I'm going to do that in half hour, 2 o'clock. So if you want to hop in and watch, it might be kind of clunky. I'm doing it for the first time, but you can at least see I'm going to trudge through and get it done.
Will you record it and put it in the member portal?
I probably won't record this one because it's going to be my first time through and it's probably going to be clunky.
Yeah.
So
Well,
once,
clunky is good with you.
I don't know what it's a difference between a 10-minute thing taking 10 minutes or maybe 30 or 45 minutes. So,
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Sorry, I have to go do teen care. So
okay,
thank you.
no problem. I'll get one in there soon that'll be real clean and
Okay.
minimal
Thank you.
minimal time. All right, we will talk to you guys next week. Have a great week.
Thanks, John.
Yeah, absolutely.